when you talk about clients, so give me a typical example, of your best and worst client without naming or shaming anybody.
Okay, best client does everything to a T. When I say to a T,
That's me, obviously.
to a T.
Eat all the burgers. Make sure nobody else eats junk food.
Diet, training, supplements, food, everything is on point. This guy will send me a picture if he eats a peanut. He'll send me a picture of a peanut, everything. Then I've got the other one, which I love to bits. I love all my clients to bits, and they all know this as well, because we have jokes, we've got
So we
bands
won't
as
say
well.
worse, we'll say the one that needs a bit of work.
Yeah. He's my favorite though. He's my favorite, believe it or not. And he won't send me pictures of the food. He'll come in, get a beasting, absolute beasting of a workout.
And smile through it.
And he'll be
Have no remorse.
And it's just, but you know what? He's getting there. He's on it now. He's on it.
Welcome back to Windmill HQ with the head coach, the Punchline podcast. It's another day, but it's a special day because today we've got our most highlighted, elevated guest that I've been looking forward to interview. And he's, fair to say, he's one of our own. He's part of the family. So that's why I'm so excited about it. Because when you're growing and you want to go up, and what we want to do is grow to the top and be the best podcast in Birmingham and across the country, we've got to bring the best guests on. And sometimes the best are amongst us and we just overlook them because of love and because, it's just easy to overlook your family. But I'm more than privileged to introduce the specialist personal trainer, Silverback Sam. And he goes by the official name of Hussam. And I'm just going to start by asking Hussam, from the beginning of his journey to the end of his journey, to talk to us about what he does and why he does it.
Alhamdulillah, it's been good. The journey from the start, it's been a roller coaster ride. From, if you're talking from the very, very start, from when I first started training and working, it was from the age of 15 years old, 14 to 15 years old. Started off doing karate, then from karate, done a little bit of kickboxing, into a bit of wrestling, and then come into boxing. But during that whole time as well, of keeping sport into my life, I was also working as well. And I was working like quite hard jobs as well. Car washes, tire warehouses.
Real hustle.
Yeah, crazy jobs. But I just seen it as like it was part of training as well, the jobs was. And then I was finishing, there was a warehouse here in Oldbury. I used to finish from the warehouse in Oldbury, jump on the bus, come into Smethwick and then come to the gym to come and train, and then jump on the bus to go back into town and then come home. But yeah, all of that is like you grow through what you go through. Going through that's kind of built me up. And then from that, I applied for Land Rover. I went into Land Rover and I thought to myself then, like, this is a secure job. I feel like that in this job, I'm going to stay here. I'm getting good money from the job. I can do overtime whenever I want. I'm stable. Come into a year and a half, 2 years down the line, they've said, mate, we're going to have to let you go. When the recession happened, they've come over, they said, you've got about 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, we're going to have to let you go. It's not in our control. And there was nothing that I could do about it. Now, as soon as they've told me that, I was just thinking like, wow, what am I going to do? Like, I've got a family to provide for. I need to earn money. This. I've got bills to pay. I've got rent to pay. 100 things are coming out of my head. So I remember on the day, I didn't even finish the 2 weeks. I took my high vis off and I said, you know what, mate, I'm gone. Just leave it. I'm gone. I went back home and I was sitting there and I was thinking like, what am I going to do next? Like, I've got a family, so I can't go out. I can't do nothing that's going to put myself at risk or put my family at risk or do anything silly. So I thought, like, what am I good at? What have I just been doing all my life? Training. So I spoke to a few people about it. I said, what do you think? They said, yeah, I think you'd be a good trainer. Go into it. And as soon as I just put my foot into the door, it's just been nonstop. I just thought that if I'm going to do this, I need to do this properly, because if this is going to be my life now, I can't just do it as a part-time thing. I need to do this full time. And as I started to do it, I just fell in love with the process. I mean, I love training anyway, because mentally, physically, it keeps me in the best shape that I can be. I let stress off. Whatever I'm going through, I can channel that through my training. And then when I'm done, I feel like I'm on top of the world. Even if it's a problem and you finish training, you feel like, it was that big. I was stressing over for no reason. And then from there, when the personal training started, I started to meet a lot of people, a lot of good people. And listening to their lives and hearing them, like as a personal trainer, I don't just see it as my job is to just get you into shape. I need to get you into shape mentally and physically so you can be the best version of you. Because if I can bring out the best version of you, you're going to bring out the best version of me. And together it's going to play for both sides. We're going to benefit. So alhamdulillah, since then, it's just been non-stop, just positivity, pushing all the time, trying to help the youth, trying to help our own people, and just giving them that energy. Because a lot of us, if we've got skills to go out and to do stuff that we're not supposed to do or sell, for example, you've got skills to sell that into anything else. You can take away whatever you're doing on the road and you can put that into a business and you can get something out from it, gain something out from it and network from it. Whereas I feel like that our youth and our people, we kind of limit ourselves as to like, this is it. We're not really going to expand from that, but that's what separates the normal from above average. It's the work rate and the belief that you've got to put in.
A lot of people are scared to take that next step.
I think they're scared to take risks, that risk and that fear of what if I do it and it doesn't turn out as to how I want it, or what if it flops? What if this doesn't happen? You know, people are more comfortable staying in a position where, for example, there's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5 at all. But if you're someone who has an idea that you want to branch out and you want to make that your lifestyle, but you're comfortable with your 9 to 5 because you don't want to take that risk in order to go out and expand, then you're going to find yourself just sitting in your own comfort zone, which some people
I think you get stuck as it becomes a habit.
Yeah, exactly. But whereas if you think that, you know, everything that starts, you need to take a risk with it. You have to start. There's always a starting point. Whatever you start, nothing's going to be great automatically and straight away. You need to put that work in, and whatever you put in, that's what you're going to get out. Even if you donate an hour a day, that's 5 hours a week. Coming over the whole week, that's 7 hours a week, that to 2 hours, etc., etc. And then slowly, if you jump into something too much, I feel like that if you do everything too much and you're working hard with no plan or no structure, then you're going to end up tiring yourself out because you're working hard towards something that you don't even know what you want to achieve yet. You set yourself small targets, achieve the small targets, and then work towards a bigger target. At least then you know that you're chopping away. Whereas if you have one big target, oh, for example, I need to make this much straight away, and you come into it with no plan or no strategic plan, then you don't know which way you're going about it. And then that could kind of put you into reverse. And then you're thinking, oh, hang on a second, you know what? Maybe this weren't for me. I shouldn't have done it, which then is going to limit you from doing anything else that you want to do. But because you just haven't planned it properly and put in a proper strategy that you can follow, and you need to be committed and make sacrifices, you can get there. Any of us can get there, but it's just about the work and the mindset.
So the method part is really interesting. Like obviously a lot of people have skills, have resources like money, a support network, property, products. But if you don't have a proper method, like you said, it's just going to be madness, isn't it? There's an old saying from a coach's point of view, there should be method in your madness. And like you said, it's about goal setting and planning. And one thing I really find in young people, they have a plan, but they don't plan for setbacks. So when something goes wrong, they just get stalled and they get shocked and they just go into like a relapse where they just want to go back into the shell and not try anything again.
The comfort zone, isn't it? 100%.
If you had just planned that into your method in the first place, look, today I'm going to climb 3 steps. If I fall off the 3rd step, it's going to hurt. So what can I do to stop myself falling? So straight away, I'll put a handrail in.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing. It's a stupid example, but it gives you the gist what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There's always things you can put in there that will help you on your journey. And I'll be sitting here and lying if I told you nothing's going to go wrong. Things will always go wrong. That's why we're human. That's why we've been given a mind. And that's why our mind works. Everybody's brain works.
Yeah.
It's just if we use it, if we tap into that knowledge, that skill, that dynamic agility that we can change as we go along.
Definitely.
And obviously you're a mind coach. So I want you to progress and tell me, if I was a young person now, even though I don't look young, I'm a little bit aged now, I'm an old horse, but what advice would you give me from the mental side, how I can stay focused? Because nowadays, if my friend turns up with a rented Lamborghini, he's got a gold chain on, he might be selling drugs, he might be doing something well in his life that he thinks is good, but ultimately, morally, it's wrong. But I'm easily distracted, so I'll come off my aims, my education, my work pattern, and jump onto that bandwagon. What can I do from a mental coach's point of view to stay focused?
So when you're talking from a young person's point of view, I feel like that it has to start with the people around him and his family. Family as well is a very big thing because everything starts from home. Whereas if your child is receiving that ultimate love and that comfort that he's at home and he feels that he can talk to his parents and connect well with them, then I feel like that the risk of the child for going out and doing that will be less if the parents are monitoring, where he's going out, his friends, which in this day and age we do need to do, because the world is cruel, and especially for teens, too many of us are we've lost our lives from drugs, stabbings. So it's very important that we need to keep an eye on our youth as well. Coming up from a young person's point of view, like at one point in my life, those things did kind of lure me in as well. Like seeing people driving nice cars, having chains, having money. As a youngster, that does make you think like, wow, you know what? I want that. I need a car. I need a chain. I need this. I need to look the part. But in reality, even when you get all of that, people that have that, they're not ultimately happy, because it's a desire. It's a worldly desire. Happiness comes from internal, and to stay focused, you need to, like I said, you need to surround yourself with the right people as well, because it's easy if you hang around with 6 chickens, you're going to become the 7th chicken. If you're with 6 idiots, you're going to become the 7th idiot. You hang around with 6 clever people, eventually you're going to become the 7th clever person. So it's about surrounding as well. You need to always surround yourself with positivity, keep yourself focused, and don't get sidetracked by these things that they're not gonna be there for a long period of time. And the way how people are, the things that people are doing to get them, they're hurting other people and putting other people's lives at risk. And that is one massive thing that we do need to work on as a community and as a whole, is our youth, because after us, they're the next generation up. And if they've got nothing and no one to guide them towards the right way, then it's just going to be destruction for the generation below and below and below. Like when I see what's going on in the world, and when I see youngsters, like a lot of youngsters, they've got a lot of potential, a lot of talent, but it's the sacrifice and the dedication that they're missing. Even if you talk in sport inside, there's a lot of Asian boxers that are very, very talented and could go very, very far. But because of, we hear it so many times, but because of situations that they get put into, they end up going to prison. That's their boxing career gone down the drain. When you're in prison, your friends are going to come and see you for a certain amount of time. After that, no one really cares, because it's their own life. They're going to see you for a week, for 2 weeks, a month, 2 months. They might write to you, but you're in that cell alone. For what? For what? At the end of the day, you're going to put your family, make your family disappointed. You yourself, you're going to feel a disappointment. But, you need to be clever, and you need to be aware of who you're around, what you're around, and what you're doing.
So a starting point is obviously family. So let's say somebody's in a household and they haven't got a supportive family. Let's say they've got a single parent, or they've got 2 parents, but neither of them are supportive of what they want to do. What would be the correct approach or, tactic for that person to progress in their interest, in their career, in aspirations? And if obviously they're challenged, so what support is available? So you're a mental health coach. You're also a personal trainer. You're also like an inspiration to hundreds and thousands of people on social media. What would be the best advice for that person who's got nobody in the interim household?
I would say to find a friend or someone close to you that you feel like that you can trust and would give you good advice, and speak to them, because not everything that we can do and control is by ourselves. For example, when we're going into a fight, I've always got you in my corner, coach, telling me and feeding me good things, which I listen to, and I tell myself the same things. When Sanan's in my corner and he's telling me, you're too fast, you're too fit, you're too strong, I believe those things, because he's feeding those things to my mind, and I need to believe them in order to achieve it. So if you got, like, it comes to, again, your surrounding, if you've got good people around you, even if at home, if things aren't right at home for a child, it is very difficult. It is very difficult, because the main time that they're spending is at home. And if that environment is broken, or they're not getting that time or that love, they're going to go out elsewhere trying to find it. And then that's when they'll start getting involved into things that will start sidetracking them away. But yeah, definitely speak to someone. Don't just keep things bottled up and keep them in, because over time we start overthinking, and they can start eating us up inside and take us to doing things that we'll regret later on down the line. But whereas if you've got someone with you, you've got a good friend, then they can always help as well. But definitely do talk to someone. Don't just hold it in and try and, because it can lead to other things. And we want all the youth to be safe and have someone where they can come and talk to and let off and let some steam off and get some advice and make themselves feel good, because there's nothing in place right now for them to do that as well.
So obviously, you touched on, we want young people to do well. And my method has always been, we should always give opportunities to people. So if somebody shows a genuine interest in a particular field, we should try our best to signpost them to the right person. Like you said, give good advice, be honest. Sometimes you got to be brutally honest. And if somebody says, I want to play football and they're not very good, you have to be honest and tell them, look, you're not very good. But there's always an alternative. So sometimes people think if they can't do what they want to do, it's the end of the dream. But dreams don't come in singles. You can have more than one dream. And making a dream a reality is what the ultimate aim should be. So from your point of view now, obviously you do the personal training, go back to your youth or your childhood and tell us what your dreams actually were at that time.
Yeah, my dreams from a child, I just wanted to be a pilot, you know. I wanted to be a pilot, and that's still somewhere down the line, inshallah, I do want to tick off. I do want to be a pilot. But when I was young, I did want to be a pilot.
So does that mean you're going to get a private jet?
Hopefully, inshallah.
Can you pick me up on the way?
Yeah, of course, the whole team. But yeah, when I started coming into training, that then kind of, like you said, dreams don't come in singles. And then I did kind of you learn about yourself, and I thought I'm more of an active person. I'm more hands-on, and I like helping people. I like making people feel good, you know, giving off that energy to them and making them do better, making them feel better. Because that, for me, I get satisfaction off that. When someone comes to me or they're telling me, you know what, because of you, I've done X, Y, and Z. Even small things, I've ate clean this week. To them, it's a big thing. Because if you're eating junk food every single day, people get into routine, they get lazy. If they're doing that and they've changed that because they're seeing something what I'm doing, that's inspiring to them. So when I started reaching out to people and I thought, hang on a second, I'm actually having an effect on these people. Like, you know, they're feeling good about themselves. That's when I thought, you know, like, this is where my comfort's at. This is where I'm comfortable at. This is what I want to do. I want to help people. I want them to grow, and I want me to grow into the biggest and the best version of myself that I can be.
So you obviously told us that you wanted to be a pilot. So what other dreams? See, I've got loads of dreams. So either I'm very, I've got aims and I want to branch out, or I slept a lot because that's how you have dreams. But what other dreams did you have apart from having the pilot dream?
You know what? I've got, I wouldn't say dreams, but I've got like ultimate goals that I want to achieve in life. Even if you take the fitness side out of it, one of the things that I do want to do, inshallah, is to open up an orphanage.
Brilliant.
I do want to do that as well. Definitely. That's like my biggest task.
So what brought that
about? When I went to Syria and when I went to Turkey, you know, seeing the lifestyle over there. And before I went there, it was crazy because I was going through a phase in my life where I did kind of like, I just felt like something was missing. Do you know what I mean? I felt like something was missing, and then this opportunity come up to go to Syria, raise X, Y amount of money, and we're going to do food distributions. We're going to build schools for them, provide facilities for them to learn. And I thought, yeah, definitely.
Did you go with a charity? Or?
Yeah.
So are you still working with a charity?
No, I'm not working with a charity, but it was like, I was told to raise a certain amount of money and then I could come and help out, etc. So it wasn't like me working for them. It was just like raise some money
like
and then you'd come.
Volunteer opportunity.
Yeah.
Like sponsorship kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a challenge to raise up this much.
Exactly that. Okay. Yeah. So then going there, when I was there and I just seen the lifestyle of the children, like as soon as we got off and we got into the camps, I just seen about 10 kids that were coming close, like 10 over there, 10 there, 10 there. And they were coming close, but they were like scared, but not scared, scared, but not scared. And I had a bag with me full of sweets. So I was just taking off my bag and open up the bag, pull out the sweets. And all the children started coming over, taking the sweets. And then we was doing the food distribution as well. It was Ramadan then as well. And it was boiling hot. On the way there, I was thinking to myself, like this is going to be a hard rosa today. This is going to be tough, this fast is. And then when we got into the camp, I just forgot everything about myself. And I thought to myself, wow, I'm so ungrateful. I'm complaining. And, you know, these children here, they're getting food for tonight and for tomorrow. After that, they don't know when they're going to eat again. We know that we're going to eat in the night, every single night. We know that we're guaranteed a meal. But when you're over there, things are completely different. You see the changes, you see the life. And even like when I got off, I had a good connection with the children. I was doing press-ups with them. I was teaching them boxing. When I was leaving, the children come, they picked me up, they put me on their shoulders and they're trying to take me to the houses and they're saying to us, come inside, come and eat food. And I was thinking to myself, you guys have only got enough food for tonight and tomorrow, and still you're asking us to come inside and eat food with you.
Big heart, isn't it?
Massive heart.
And obviously they had that respect and love for you because of the experience, the short experience.
Yeah, and you know what? It was amazing. And then when I come back, I thought, I need to do something for life for these children. I need to put something into place. I mean, like, I'm not a perfect person. I do things, you know, like, we're human, we make mistakes, but the bigger picture is of things that if you can help other people and you can help someone, then, you know, that makes life worth living, especially when it comes to orphans, because they've got a soft spot in my heart when I see them. You know, like, I wanted to adopt all the kids. I asked one of them, I said, can I adopt this little girl? She's beautiful, mashallah. And they said, nah, you're not able to because of X, Y, and Z. But that, for me, that's my ultimate goal. I want to open up an orphanage. And then after that, inshallah, whatever comes after that.
That's absolutely beautiful, that is. So we know you want to be a pilot. So we know you want to open an orphanage. We know you're a mental health coach. Has there been any other offers people have given you for work or to tap into your talents?
There are a few things that are in the pipeline that I haven't released
top secret
yet.
Or
at the moment it is top secret, but within
can you just give us a little inshallah, insight, or not at all?
Yeah, I can give it insight.
Or can you give us a date when to watch on your social media?
I haven't got an exact date, but within, I'd say, around a month tops.
There's something coming. Something brewing.
Something's dropping. Okay. Something's dropping. Something fresh is dropping. So inshallah, I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go on to lockdown. So obviously in lockdown, all I've done is I've done quite a lot actually. I've tapped back into my passion for cooking. I've been making some mad meals at home. My mom's been just really impressed with me and said, I didn't know you had so much skill. And then my dad, obviously, he's like me, he can eat.
Yeah.
And we just sit there and we just wham bare food. The family time, that bond I've got with my mom and dad has basically been really strong throughout my life. But over these last 3 months of lockdown, or 3 months and more, I've found another side to my parents here where they just want to have bare jokes.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing and it's priceless. And sometimes I feel sad because there's going to be a time where either I'm going to go or my parents are going to go. We don't know who's going to go first yet, but inevitably we're all going to go. And it's made me reflect on that, and it's been a bit emotional, like sitting there and saying to and the hardest part was basically at the start of the lockdown, when the coronavirus deaths and all this came on the media. My dad went out with a mask on and gloves, and I said, where are you going? He goes, I'm going for a walk. But I knew something was up because my dad, when he acts like that, there's something up. And he's come back with a brown envelope, and I'm like, what's this? He goes, I just had to go see the solicitor for something. What's this? Anyway, he called all the family together. And he goes, I just need to give you like a copy of this piece of paper each. And we opened it, it was a will. And he goes, like, obviously with Corona is real. And my age group is vulnerable, 65 plus. And I'm Asian and I smoke. And our area is a hard hit area. So for me, that was certification to say now from every minute now, I'm going to give my dad 1000%. So it's similar to your story from, the refugee camp, and you went to Syria and you've seen these kids. Obviously, my dad said to us, I've had 65 years of life and I'm grateful to God for everything that I've had, the opportunities, the ups, the downs, everything is giving me a chance. When I've had an up, it's given me a chance to be happy. When I've had a down, it's given me a chance to reset and remember God, because my dad's like a really God-fearing person. But relating to your story and the orphanage, that was really beautiful for me, because these are kids who are at the beginning of their life. An average human does live about 60, 70, 80 years. And these guys are facing these setbacks before they've had any life experience, before they've matured. They're innocent kids. And for someone like you to go there and basically give up what you're doing here, give up your time, your energy, effort, fundraising. Yeah, money's good. Money brings a lot of things like resources, food and that. But the ultimate thing you gave was the happiness. And you're saying kids picked you up and they all wanted to be. That, for me, is priceless.
100%.
And not many people can do that. And I believe that's a special gift. And I believe you got it. So no matter when you do an orphanage, no matter how you do an orphanage, count me in.
Inshallah, definitely.
I will be there and I'll give as much time as I can. And I'll give advice, honest advice. I'm not the best person, but I want to be part of it, because that's something that not everyone gets the opportunity to be part of. And you know how people want to get a nice car, nice job, a nice family, nice house, whatever. This for me is more important. Because I truly believe when a child in particular gives you appreciation, it's a karma thing I believe in. Like, if a child wishes good on you, you're going to get good. Because God won't deny that child. That's my belief. And I share that with everybody. And whether people believe me or don't agree with me, that's irrelevant to me. For me, that's my belief. And just hearing the story would motivate me to, instead of doing 5 things, 10 things, 15 things, 20 things. And I relate it back to what I said about my dad. Is this lockdown giving me a real sense of appreciation So I'm going to try and probe you to talk about what lockdown's done for you personally.
For lockdown, for me, when lockdown first kicked in, I was like, oh, wow, gyms closed, everything closed. What are we going to do? This is mad. But, you know, I find like that when situations like that do arise, we have to adapt and we have to come up with something because, again, at the end of the day, it's like I've got a family to provide for. I don't know how other people see it, but for me, that's the ultimate thing that drives me, that I need to provide. I have to provide. If I stop working, I stop providing, and I can't let that happen. I have to. So when lockdown happened, I was like, wow, no more work. I was still personal training. We was going to the park within the safety measures, government guidelines, etc. training. And then I started to do online stuff, more stuff online. I had a bit more time. Before lockdown, everything was just manic. I was running around 24/7. There was no proper strategy that I put into place. So 24/7, I was here, there, running late. I was just running late to everything. So when lockdown happened, it kind of just gave me a chance to slow down and just say like, okay, now you need to recuperate and now you need to come up with a different approach or you need to come out with something now. So I started doing a lot of online sessions, which gained a lot of attention. A lot of people started messaging me. They were more interested in personal training online. And again, because they're limited to facilities, not everybody knows what they're doing at home as well. You've got some people that are showing like, you know, you can do exercises with saucepans and stuff like that for shoulders, but what, you're going to do like about 5,000 reps to get a pump or something. But yeah, so for me, lockdown has been kind of the best thing that's happened because that now has allowed me to open up my own training studio in a time like this where it's hard for businesses to run and to start up. But alhamdulillah, again, with the strategy, I just waited, I just built up, kept pushing out my thing, kept pushing out what I'm doing, pushing out motivation, health, positivity, because that's what it's about and that's what I'm about. Whatever you see is what you get with me. Like whatever you're going to see on the ground, how I'm pushing and whatever I'm doing, that's how I am in real life, you know, like you know yourself. But yeah, lockdown definitely has been the best thing for me. And I've met a lot of people that have had a very good influence in my life as well. And they're friends for life as well. So again, it's kind of like how you see it. A lot of people are seeing it as, you know what, I can't go out with my friends. I can't go eat. I can't do this. I haven't seen the boys and so on. Like, yeah, of course, we want to see our friends, you know, we're guys, that's what we do. But lockdown, this is more of a serious situation than just going out to go seeing your friends. Everything's limited. Everything's taken away now. Freedom's taken away. They're saying that we can't go to gyms. We got to go for a walk. We've got to do X, Y, and Z within guidelines. So, you know, when that happens and you're left with, you have to work with what you've got, that shows, for me, that shows really who you are. Because now everything's taken away from you. So whatever you've got left now, you've got to work with that to try and make something and to try and maintain in a crisis like this. And this has made me plan for if another wave is to happen, then now I have other things put in place that if another wave was to happen, then I can resort to this, I can resort to that. Yeah, the plan's there. So still, I can still rotate and still just adapt to different things. So yeah.
So you talked about doing the lockdown and you touched a little bit on social media. You obviously follow your social media. I'm a fan, obviously. I'll make that public, yeah. And if Instagram had a number one fan, it probably would be me, yeah. But I noticed you gave a platform to young people, like a talent show and like a religious, spiritual sort of platform. And that was quite cool because you just unfolded so much talent.
Alhamdulillah, that was like, it was so heartwarming. Like in Ramadan, I thought, you know, we go live. I was doing the press up challenge as well. So even during Ramadan, I was trying to raise money for charity for Pakistan. So alhamdulillah, that went really well. We was doing the deck challenge. I think in total it was like 300. I don't know, it's 500 and something press ups from one deck.
So when deck, you talking about a deck of cards?
Yeah, deck of cards. So the total amount of deck, like the numbers on the deck, it added up to like 500 and something. And alhamdulillah, that month was a really good month because that was the first time that I did charity without any company. So I just did it straight for myself. I had trustful people in Pakistan that as soon as the money was sent, they'd let me know, okay, we've received the money. This is what we're going to do. And then I was posting every single week, just giving updates as well of where the donations have gone, what effect they're making, and, you know, just keep pushing it out for the following weeks. And then I thought, in the night, after all of that, you know, like a lot of people were messaging me, it's Ramadan. It's a special month for us. You know, I feel like that even if you can change for 1 month, in that month, then it's a good thing. It's a good thing because 1 month of goodness is better than doing no good at all. And I thought, you know, it'd be good if if I could give these people like just, you know, a little bit of the opportunity for them to come on and recite, talk a bit about, you know, Islam, to recite, because I want to learn more myself. There's a lot that I need to learn, and you know, I can learn from everyone. I never ever see anyone as I can't learn something from him. There's always something that you can learn from someone. Everyone has always got something. So you need to be like a sponge. So even when people are coming on, children are coming on and reciting, some of the children even almost made me cry. And I was like,
that little one was my favorite.
Mashallah, the little Zayn.
What was his name?
Zayn, mashallah.
He was awesome.
He was amazing.
The one for the future.
He came on, and as soon as he recited, I was just like.
But you know, the reciting was beautiful. And I understand the religious, but for me, from a neutral point of view, especially with that youngster, I watched him the first time he came on, and he was nervous, and he was standing with his hands behind his back and moving his hat. And then over the 5 or 6 days, I noticed he actually made an effort to put a different outfit on.
He became very confident,
He'd positioned himself nicely, and he'd had someone behind the camera giving him cues.
Yeah.
And it's like almost he put so much effort in.
Yeah.
And that little space and that much development was absolutely
Mashallah.
massive for me. For what was he, 7, 8 years old or something like that?
Yeah.
And I just seen him grow in like 7 to 8 days, and I was like, whoa. And that just happened because you gave them a platform, almost a safe space. Like, they're obviously inspired by you. They come on, they feel confident, come on your live, and you're encouraging them. And most of the comments on there were encouraging comments.
Yeah.
And that's nice to see as well, because that means what you're doing is what the people want.
Yeah.
And when people want something, they give it the full support. That individual feels special.
100%.
And for a kid like 7, 8 years old to have that kind of progression over 7 days is absolutely massive.
Very special.
And like, if you're going to a specialist to get that kind of confidence, or psychiatrist or something like that, they probably charge you £800. You won't come out with a penny of that.
True. It's true.
So that was good for me. And obviously we unfolded loads of talent in Birmingham. Like, I was watching, I didn't know these people existed. There was so many reciters,
and
people giving poems.
Half of them lived like round the corner from me.
Yeah, and we never see them.
Never. And I was like, "What? You live down the road? You here?" I was like, "Wow, we're gonna meet up. We'll meet up one day, inshallah. We get some."
And it's
food.
good to see such a large following on there as well.
Yeah.
So people had an invested interest to actually follow it.
Yeah, definitely.
And like you said, like, if it's 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 month, 1 year, some goodness is better than no goodness at all.
Yeah,
so I really like that concept. And I think next year you should do it again. And I think next year you should make it more. If lockdown's off, you can have an event where people turn up and do it live.
Definitely.
Maybe that can be one of your projects.
That would be amazing. Definitely.
Yeah, and maybe it can feed into the charity.
Inshallah, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So let's go to another section now. Your actual personal training, etiquette, or your own routine, what you eat. Let's just go through a typical day. Okay. Monday morning. I'm the alarm clock. So, Dino, you wake up.
Okay, I'm up. I'm active. First thing, the first thing that I'll always do is listen to some sort of positivity, because I've heard that within the first half an hour of when you wake up in the morning, what you listen to will determine your day. So when I get up, like when we're in fight camp, for example, fight training mode, I get up and I listen to a motivation speech. I listen to either Will Smith, Denzel Washington, Eric Thomas. And they're just firing up positivity into my head, and I'm just drinking my kava, my green tea in the morning, half asleep, but my eyes are closed, but I'm just listening. I'm taking it in. Then I get up, I'll do my run, get my run out the way in the morning, come back, get my breakfast in, getting a very good breakfast. I get my protein in, my carbs, fats, minerals. I try to have my biggest meal is my breakfast, and I just stuff loads of goodness in that. Now I'm ready for work. Then I'll go out, I hit work, and from the get-go, like, I set a standard with all of my clients that they know, like, when they come into the gym, it's go time. It's go time. They'll come in, like, they'll know we'll have times where, like, in the rest, we'll talk or whatever, or after the session. But when we're training, it's go time. Whether we're friends, when we're training, I'm sorry, but we're not friends. You're going to hate me in the gym, but after the gym, you're going to love me. We'll go for a meal or whatever, because my goal is to get them into the best shape possible. And you're not paying me to talk to me. If you're paying me to talk to me for an hour, that's fine. We'll sit down and talk. But you're paying me for a service that I need to deliver at a high standard, because that's what we do. That's my representation. So I need to ensure that I'm delivering that to the T every single time. and pushing it out there. So during work, I get my start in work. Then I hit my second training session throughout the day, where I've got a bit of free time. I'll take an hour or two. I'll train. And then I'll finish off my work. I finish work coming into the evening around 8, 9. So we start early in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And then we're finishing 8, 9. And then I'll train again in the night. So then that's my day done then. After training, we'll come to box, go home, eat, shower, back in bed again. Same thing. 5 days a week. It's just, I see it as from Monday to Friday, I'm off. I'm unavailable because I'm putting in my grind. If you need to phone me, you need to see me, like, you know, I'm just there. I'm putting in work. On the weekends, phone me. We'll go out. We'll do whatever. But Monday to Friday, I'm off because I'm putting in work, and I have to because there's so many things that I want to achieve before I hit a certain age. Now, I'm not saying that you should achieve X, Y, and Z. There's no certain age that you should achieve everything before that, because there's a plan for everything. You can get your first house after 35 years old, cash. You've still got your own house after 35 years old. It doesn't matter if you get it at 24, 25. There's timing for everything. But for me, I feel like that there's so much that I want to accomplish that I'm trying not to overwork myself, but I want to do it within a good pace correctly. So I'm just ticking small boxes, ticking small tasks. And that's a day-to-day life for me. It's graft mode. There's not really a day.
See, I agree with that.
Where I have a day off.
Well, I did agree with it when I was younger, because what I find when you're younger, you're just a little bit more energetic.
Yeah.
And now somebody told me when you hit 30 is downhill. Now I'm just past 30, and I'm pretty much down the bottom of the hill.
Nah, no way.
Too tired. You know, procrastinating. Sitting back, if I can just make an excuse not to do something, I won't do it. And the biggest blessing in my life is my wife, but it's also made me the laziest person in the world, because I know if there's TV remote there, I can call her from upstairs and she'll pick the remote up and pass me the remote. Now, talking to you, that's really bad, because you would kick the shit out of me in the gym and you'd be like, yo, what you doing? What you playing at? Get off your ass and pick up that remote and do. I know how you work like a military, you know. But I agree with that, because when I was younger, especially between the age of 19 and 25, I could do anything.
Yeah.
No one could tell me I can't do. If you say to me I can't do, I'm going to do it just to prove you wrong. And stubborn, very stubborn, and got the nickname of being moody because, like you said, didn't have time for anybody, busy doing my hustle, and missed so many family gatherings, which is probably the only regret I've got. But saying that, sometimes when you're not part of something, it makes you appreciate it more. Like that's what we talked about in lockdown. You know, the example I gave about my dad is when you actually appreciate something is when the pin drops.
100%. I mean, even like during lockdown, it was a difficult time for us as well. I mean, like you said, with the corona and stuff as well. My grandma got it, and I was very close with my grandma, like up until the age of 13, 14 years old. I would stay at her house, even past that. Like she'd feed me up until the age of 19. I'd go to her house and I'd
something
sit down.
Special about grandmas.
You know, it's grandmas. She'd make food and she'd sit down. Because she's made it, I'd say, you know what, Amaji, I want you to feed me because you've made it. So then she'd feed me, and like
the thing is, that's the kind of thing they used to love.
Yeah.
It's nothing really. It's somebody feeding you food, but it's because it's you and they have that connection with you that no one can explain.
Yeah.
They just love doing them little things.
100%.
I used to sit on the floor in front of my grandma because she was like bedridden in the late part of her life. I used to sit there and all she used to do is just play with my hair, and I used to nod off.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Grandmas have that effect. My mom used to make me, she used to make me wash up. My mom used to make me do the dishes, vacuum, clean. I used to hate it.
But that's a good thing.
But it is a very good thing. At the time, then I was like, Mom, like I'm a boy. I shouldn't be doing this. Mom said, I don't care if you're a boy. You better get up and go and brush. So as soon as my grandma used to walk in, I thought, yes, eat down. She used to walk in and I said, Omaji, you know, I'm tired. You know, my hands are hurting. And she used to say to my mom, what are you doing? Why are you making him get up and work for? Why are you making him do this? Sit down, put it's okay. Sit down, same thing, just play with my hair, massage.
The higher entity.
Yeah. And then when this came, it was like literally I just received a phone call in the night, and my dad was like, look, you know, like your grandma's gone into hospital. And I was like, why is everything okay? What's happened? And then he told me, he said that, look, the thing that she may have coronavirus. And then the following 2 days later, I received a phone call, and my mom was like, you know, she's gone, literally. And it was like, you know, for a moment I just froze. You know, because everything just come back to me, like I was close with her, and like she was like my mom, and it was heartbreaking. It was probably like it was the hardest thing going through that. But Alhamdulillah, I mean, you know, like it's one of them.
Yeah,
We
but
can't
we
change it.
believe in it, that
Yeah.
everything happens
Exactly.
in
Exactly.
sort of
like for me, even when I was there, like when we went to the janazah and everything, I just felt that she was in a better place. For me, that was satisfying. Like, alhamdulillah, she's in a better place. So, you know,
so we obviously that charity side that you talked about, that's going to play a part.
yeah,
In
massive.
Maybe
definitely.
something on your grandma's name.
Yeah, we already did. Alhamdulillah, we did straight after. Alhamdulillah, we raised some money for a well. We built a well in her name. But there's so many other things that, you know, inshallah, I want to just go above and beyond for. And at the end of the day, it's our sadaqah, jariyah. Whatever we do in this world is for this world. The main thing is for the akhirah. Even if you're talking about grinding, hustling, we need to take time out for God, because without God, we wouldn't have none of this. He's the provider for everything. So you need to take that time out and give that time to God. Appreciate Him for everything that you've been given, because I can wake up tomorrow and have nothing tomorrow, and I need to know that. I can't be too comfortable. I can't get arrogant. I can't be comfortable thinking I'm this, I'm that, because the minute that you do that, the minute that you lose yourself, the minute is that you lose everything. That's what I believe. So you always have to keep God into your life, and you always need to remain humble, be dedicated to your graft, and just be good to people. Be good. It costs nothing to be good.
So you know what you just said is, for me, like from a neutral point of view, if I was looking at neutrally, I'll see a lot of people who have done well. Let's just talk about boxing, because I'm a boxing coach. You're a boxer. You know, when boxers win a world title, one of the first things they say is praise be to God. And I don't mean in a bad way to anybody who doesn't believe in God or anything, but it's almost a direct correlation to people who believe in God or believe in something or believe in somebody or have a cause, like whether it's for cancer's research. Because I remember there's a famous cricketer, he made a cancer collection or charity on his wife's name from Australia, and he basically kitted the whole stadium in pink. The team actually playing were wearing pink. The cricket ball was pink.
Wow.
So I'm just saying that when you have a belief or something that you rely on, people always appreciate that. And like you just said, you know, you believe in God and that's the center point of all your focus. I think that's really interesting, because a lot of people, we're in a day and age where there's a lot of people who don't believe in anything.
Yeah.
They don't believe in God, which is fine. That's their belief.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously you believe, I believe, and we always put that at the center of everything we do. And I think it gives us a bit of a consciousness when we do things. Like, for example, if I didn't believe in God, I would probably be quicker to like try and do somebody over.
Yeah.
You know, if something costs 50p, I'd try and whack it up to 52 pence, something like that.
Exactly.
Or be unfair. And whether what I believe or not is true is beside the point. The point is it actually checks me as a person.
It does.
And it makes me perform a lot fairer across everything.
100%.
And that's one thing I really like. And if people don't believe in God, they can still be good people. That's not for me to comment on. And from my personal experience, I believe in God, and I believe that stops me doing a lot of things that I would have probably gone astray on. And that's a good thing ultimately. You know, it's like a seatbelt in the car. The car's still a car without a seatbelt, but with the seatbelt, it's just a little bit safer and a little bit more, you know, passive, and, you know, makes you feel comfortable. So let's go back to the mental health. So you're a mental health coach. So talk us through it. What does it involve? If I want to be qualified as mental health coach, what do I need to do?
So for this course, we was doing youth work at Sultan Bow Masjid, and the person in charge, is a very good guy. He's seen like what we do, what me and Danny were doing, the training side, and he was like, you know, I feel that you guys can connect with the youth and you guys can connect with people that we can't connect with. So he advised us that these courses are coming up. I'd advise you to take the course. He has guided us towards these courses and to do
He's
stuff.
like a mentor, yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, we went on to
Do you
the
want to
mental
give him a
health
shout
course.
out? Who is it?
Yeah, his name's Kami. Big shout out to Kami.
Big shout out to Kami. Yeah, I'm looking for Kami's phone number now because I want to get on this course.
So yeah, Kami said, you know, enroll onto the course. I said, yeah, definitely. We enroll onto the course. I learned a lot of stuff, a lot of signs as well, because I feel like in Asian households, mental health isn't looked at all.
We're just blind.
That's it. We think that
I'm not afraid to say it on camera. In Asian households, they're blind.
we think all of our kids have got jinns with us, but if
if time's a problem, they're like, oh, just shake it off.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not simple as that.
Nah, you need to, it's like, we need to sit down and address the situation. You know, like in Asian household, like it's quick to just be, oh, he's boggle, he's crazy, this, that, oh, it's nothing. you'll be okay. But you haven't addressed the situation. You don't even know what the situation is properly yet. You need to sit down, work that out, and then go forward from there, because it is neglected in a lot of Asian households. I've seen it, like, and you don't need to go to all this X, Y, and Z. All you need to do is sit down with your child and talk. Just sit down and talk. What's up? Basic conversation, like day to day. When your child comes home, or like whenever I see, when I see my kids, I'm always asking them, like, what have you been doing today? How is this? If they went to the grandma's house, what did you do at Nanny's house? This. We're talking, what did you do at Daddy's house? I'm always talking, so that I'm always trying to get something back from my children, so that they don't feel that they're astray from me or disconnected from me. I'm always trying to keep that in bounds, to them when they do have a problem, or if they're going through something, I can identify it and I can address it. Certain words that people will say will show, or certain actions that people do will give you an idea of where their head's at and kind of what they're going through. And then you pick up off that, and then you work off that.
And like early intervention is better, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely.
So
you don't want to leave it too late.
Most the Asian community do and say, it's nothing, or don't talk about it in public. People are going to talk about you, this. Instead of doing all that, sit down, 2 coffees, face to face, let it out.
As selfish as it sounds, you have to put yourself first. Not in a selfish way, but put yourself first, as in you need to make sure that you're okay. You need to make sure that, that number one is okay. I'm okay. I'm strong. I know what I'm doing. I know what I want. Not all of us know what we want up until the age of 30, 40. I don't even know fully what I want in life. I'm still growing and I'm still learning. And every day I'm learning. But I know at the end there is an ultimate goal that I want to achieve. But mentally, you need to be prepared, because everything starts from mentally, from here. And then, because you need to believe it before you achieve it. And even going through problems, like talking through the mental health side, stuff like anxiety is on the rise, it's on the come up. A lot of children are going through anxiety. They feel socially awkward. They feel that they can't talk to people. And there's nothing that is heavily put onto place to kind of help children like that as well. But again, like I said, for me, I believe that it all starts from home. It starts from home. And as parents, we have a responsibility to make sure that our children are okay. And we need to stop neglecting them. Even little things like giving your children a time to be home. A lot of kids these days, they're 16, 17, they're out till 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, that's their decision. But for me as a parent, I wouldn't allow that to happen, because I need to know where my kid is. I need to know what he's doing, regardless, because that's my save. If anything was to happen to him at the end of the day, I'm not going to be able to forgive myself, because if I know that I should have taken better care of him, I should have talked to him, I should have spoken to him, because God forbid if he was to ever do anything because he was depressed and I couldn't identify that he was depressed because I just didn't talk to him, then how am I going to live with that? That's my own child, and because I couldn't communicate with him properly, I'm his father, I couldn't communicate with him properly or read him properly, or just make that communication, open that door for conversation. He went and done something else that he shouldn't have done.
Yeah. I'm with that 100%. I think that parents, like I've been brought up that my dad sat us down as a family and he said, no matter what happens, no matter what you've done, no matter how bad you think it is, how good you think it is, no matter what, you can always come and talk to me. And when you talk to me, I'm not your father, I'm your best friend. Yeah. So talk to me like you would talk 100%. To your friends. I'll get that vibe from you. Like when you mentioned your own little one and if you want to know where he is and you want to know, you won't forgive yourself if he did something or it was something happened to him or he shouldn't be at. I'll get that vibe from you that you got this sort of new age relationship with your children that a lot of parents don't have and should have, where you can just sit down and have that one-to-one time, regardless of the age, regardless of the maturity. You invest time and interest in your own kids because they're your assets.
You have to.
You know, your kids are a reflection of you, you're a reflection of your kids. So I think you should put that graft in. And I think that's bang on advice for anybody out there, especially young parents who might struggle, but there's people like you they can talk to. So there's a facility right there, a human being, an expert of the craft because you're in it. It's not fake, it's not theory. You're in it, it's real. And they should just reach out. And you're the kind of person, if somebody reaches out, you're going to be like, yo, I'll give you honest advice. I'm not afraid to tell you the truth. This is the truth. This is a shaky environment. This is a shaky situation. But this is what you can do to help the situation.
Even like outside of families, like I've trained people where when they first come to me and where their head is at is, you know, like they're off their way. Like when they first start, they're depressed. I can tell they're not really comfortable with themselves. But again, when they come, coaching, not just the body, but mentally, because people believe what you tell them. People believe what they see. People believe what they hear. So if 24/7, like for example, Mike Tyson, when he first started fighting, when he first come into the gym, Costa Mato was praising him like no tomorrow. And Mike Tyson thought, this guy is crazy. He's just all the time just praising me. Oh, you're so strong. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. But over time, Mike Tyson believed it and he became an absolute animal where no one could stop him because he believed it.
His mental conditioning
was feeding him exactly that. So as well as getting the body into shape, it's getting the mind into shape as well. Depression, all of us go through depression. Like all of us can go through depression. It's very easy to come across. And we might not even notice that we are depressed because we're just so used to it being in the ways. I'm so used to feeling down. I'm so used to just being this way that this is just me and it. But it's not. It's because you're allowing it to keep you onto your knees. It's going to keep you onto your knees because the world is not, it's not a fair place. It's a very cruel world. And like Rocky says, if you let it, it'll beat you to your knees and it'll keep you there permanently. If you let it, it's not going to help you up. But you need to get up and you just need to keep fighting. Every single day is a fight, whether it's a fight towards a goal, whether it's a fight towards you're trying to do something new or stay consistent. Every single day is a fight and you need to get up and you need to fight in the right way, not in the wrong way, but fight towards what you want, towards your goals and your dreams and your desires for what you want.
And obviously you mentioned Mike Tyson in there. So naturally, I'm just going to ask you this question and there is no right or wrong answer, but who's the best boxer of all time?
Of all time?
Of all time. Is there more than one? Because technically there's different weight divisions. So.
Yeah, so I got too many favorites. I say of all time, in and out of the ring has to be Muhammad Ali of all time, simply for his boxing ability is amazing and for what he's done outside of the ring. And it's not for a fighter to have a massive impact in the ring and outside of the ring shows what type of character that he is, that he's a great man and he was the great of all time. Secondly has to be Mike Tyson. Definitely, Mike Tyson.
I like Mike Tyson personally.
Just a relentless animal, but he's so technically good and sound that it's beautiful to watch him.
A lot of people say that Mike Tyson is a loony, that he's not all there in the head. But you know, recently I've been listening to him and the guy is well-researched guy,
he is.
He knows a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
And he's the kind of guy, whether you like him or you don't like him, you have to watch him. He's got that infectious personality.
Yes.
Where you're just on edge and you think he's going to do something at any given moment. You know, whether it's on his Snapchat lives, his Instagram lives, or if he's on a formal show, or if he's showcasing a product, or he's taking part in a collaboration. Everybody knows Mike Tyson. And I think the similarity of Muhammad Ali, or the difference is Muhammad Ali is very, very relevant right now to me because this Black Lives Matter issue and what happened in the USA and what happens around the world. I'm not going to go into it too much because that's not the topic, but Muhammad Ali did things at his time when there was no opportunity and there was massive discrimination against certain populations. And just the way he spoke, his poetry, his flow, his personality, his aura, the fact that he'd come onto a TV show and everybody knew he was a star before he spoke. And there's something about him and like...
He made that impact.
And then it wouldn't stop there. He'd take it into the ring and he was a showman. He was skillful, powerful, super fit, good looking. You know, Louisville Lip was his name because it just flowed off his tongue. And I don't think you can train or nurture or bring anybody like Muhammad Ali ever again. It'd be very rare. Like I got respect for fighters like Floyd Mayweather. I got respect for fighters like Mike Tyson in their own element. They're absolutely amazing people and they do so many good things for society, for the sport, and they're just like warriors of the sport and they're humble in defeat. But Muhammad Ali is just something too special. I personally believe he's a gift from God to us. So we're so lucky to have him during our ages and to see him and to see his story and how he's evolved through time and how he's shaped the future. Like if you go back now and think about the things he said and other people around the time, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, these people, what they said was the truth. You know, there's lack of opportunity. And now the only difference is more transparent. Like we can see it because of social media and people put a video up of what actually happened on the ground. Instead of listening to somebody and thinking, are they right? Have they exaggerated? You actually see with your own eyes, make your own judgment.
Yeah.
And the trade I'm in or the work I'm in, there's been research carried out that it takes somebody from an ethnic minority 10 times more effort to get the same job as somebody who's white. So it's a fact. There's no denial. And whether it's done intentionally or it's just a culture, or we ourselves, like you said, sometimes we don't try hard enough. We give up at the first hurdle. All this needs to change.
100%.
And I believe that we're all responsible for it, and we all put an effort in consciously to make that change. And one of the main things you said earlier was about the parents. I think it starts at home. It starts with the roots. The roots are strong, the tree's strong. The roots ain't no good, the tree's no good. And the other issue I've got in life is sometimes, this is a really old thing, yeah, it's going to show my age, yeah, but my granddad said this to us. He sat us down and he goes, I'm going to tell you a story. My granddad was good at articulate. He was a captain in the army. He was in the Pakistan army, which was then the British army, because the British Empire ruled India. There was no Pakistan then. He sat us down and he said, I'm going to tell you a story. This is when he was old, late 80s, very old man. And he used to sit on the sofa and he used to make us sit on the floor in front of him as toddlers. And he said, I'm going to tell you a story, the story of the trees. And we're obviously kids and we get wowed by any story. But now that I'm older, I'm actually more wowed by it.
Yeah.
So he said that the trees had a meeting and the 3 or 4 wise trees were saying, oh, these humans are a pain. They keep chopping us down. And sooner or later, there's going to be none of us left. And at the back of the meeting, there's always that one person in the back of the meeting that people overlook sometimes.
Yeah.
There's an old tree chuckling, laughing away. And they turned to him and said, oh, old tree, why are you laughing? We're having a serious meeting here. There's a dilemma going on. You know, we're going to be extinct if we don't do something about it. And he said, the problem isn't the humans. The problem is the trees. And they said, how so? He said, because the human uses an axe and the handle's actually made of wood. So do you understand? So sometimes there can be loads of strategies out there, but the problem is at home. And like you said, the parents are the ones who are going to put that seed, make the root strong.
That's a powerful story. That is.
Yeah, and sometimes it looks great above ground, the tree, but if the roots are weak, you can't see them because they're buried away somewhere. So you've got to take that care and that preparation and execute a plan to make them roots really strong. And tell your kids they're special. Tell your kids you love them. Tell your kids they can do anything. If someone tells your kids they can't do something, that person's lying. They can do anything. And your job is obviously to motivate them, like you said, mental conditioning and making sure they're set for life. You know, you give them a good start and the rest of the journey is their journey. Let them have their journey. Let them take opportunities. Let them fall over a few times. It's good to fall. It's nice to see things lying down on your back. It's a different perspective. You know, the best way to see things, if I look up like this, it's great. But if I'm lying down flat and look up, it looks even greater. Why do people lie down when they look at the stars? Because it's a better feeling. So there's no harm in falling over a few times. And me personally, I've been inspired by all my students. I've had 15 years. This is why this podcast come across. The Punchline podcast has actually come across because of 15 years of coaching. And it's time to talk about the diamonds that we've worked with. Because everybody's a diamond. Everybody's a different shape, different color, but everybody is equally precious. And from a coach, it's been a privilege and it's really shaped me as a person. And it's made me feel that I've got opportunities. And like I'm going to go back to being divine, and I believe in God, and it's a divine intervention that God's given this opportunity to work with so many talented people. And we've had our fair challenges on the way. We've had fallouts. We've grown to love people. We've grown to distance from people. But it's all been a learning journey that I never ever would regret in my whole life. And if one advice I give to anybody in a similar trade, in a similar walk of life, or anybody presented with opportunity, take the opportunity. You will learn so much. You will grow. You will enjoy. You will dislike some of the journeys, but it's going to make you, you're a diamond. It's going to polish you.
100%.
It's going to make you shine.
Grow through what you
And
go
one
through.
day, that diamond, people are going to realize the value of that diamond. The diamonds are priceless.
Nailed it on the head.
That's my little 2-3 minute chop of your stage, but I like to hijack the stage sometimes. So let's go on to another area. So now, what's the future for? So you said your brand was Silverback Sam. Tell us how it came about.
So Silverback Sam came about. So when people always ask me what is Silverback, for starters, the best body part, muscular body part for me is my back. And Silverback is a gorilla. So when you see a gorilla, it's powerful. It's an alpha. It's a beast. So when I'm training, I like to study animals though as well. You know, in general, I like to watch how the lion hunts. I like to watch how the tiger hunts, what they do before, you know, documentaries, stuff like that. So that Silverback, the gorilla, is kind of like when I'm training, I kind of go into a beast mode. sort of like I just zone out and I'm in my zone. I'm just doing relentless work. That's where the name comes into it, Silverback.
And naturally, obviously, a gorilla is one of the most strongest animals out there.
Yeah, physically.
I think I watched a movie not long ago with The Rock in there, and there's some kind of chemical or something comes from
that
outer
makes
space.
the gorilla grow.
grow.
Yeah.
But the one thing I was so fascinated, even though it's not a true story, it's just fiction. The one thing that is true about animals, especially monkeys and primates and gorillas in particular, they're very, very emotional and very, very intelligent. And the bit that makes me laugh the most at the end when he's pretending to be dead, and The Rock goes all teary and says, "Oh, you are my best friend, George," and this, and he just sticks his middle finger up, shuts down The Rock like there's no tomorrow, and The Rock's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you back," and this. So even though he grows and grows and is still a beast, that emotional, that sensitive and intelligent part of that animal is still there.
100%.
So, like you said earlier, method in the madness. Even though he's got brute strength and it's a full-on killer, and it's, you know, it's the daddy of the jungle in amongst all the apes and the monkeys and whatever, and they won't step on his toes. There's only one room for one silverback. There's only one silverback in the family. The other one has to leave.
Yeah.
So they're quite like territorial as well.
Yeah, 100%.
But they're emotional and they have method to the madness.
Yeah.
And they know what they're doing. They have a grasp control on everything. So what's next for Silverback Sam?
It's next
Where
for
are you
Silverback
now?
Sam. So
Where are you
now? I'm finally at Silverback Studio now. So we are open. Next steps for the future, inshallah, I'm going to open up a bigger studio, and I want to branch out. And so we have a few studios open, inshallah. And there's a lot of other things. I've got a merch, inshallah, as well, that I want to bring out. I've got a few other products in the pipeline as well that are going to come out. So, and also with boxing as well, inshallah, I want to go into championships and progress in my career. I want to just push all aspects of what I'm doing. So I know that I've given 110% into everything. I've got no regrets in life where, oh, I should have done this, I could have done this, I would have done this. Like if I've put the work in and I've tried and I've put 110%, I know that I'll put in all of my effort and it didn't work. Okay, I've got something else that's going. Okay, that don't work, I've got something else going. That don't work, I've got something else going. But everything I need to push and I need to excel. So so as the future comes, I'm more than ready and I'm prepared for it. I don't really like to walk into things blindly. I need to know what I'm going into, how I'm going to do it, and what I need to put in to get there.
So when you say right about now, when you talked about studio, tell us about studio. What services do you offer?
So it's a personal training studio. It's a one-to-one private training facility. So it's not open for members of the public to just walk in and get a membership. You need to book in online or over social media. You book in your slots, fill out a consultation form, you choose what program you want, and then we get started. The hard work starts. A lot of our clients that do come in are for longevity. And like I said, for me, it's not about the money, because if one client leaves, another client will come. If that client goes, another one will come. It's about, I always say to all of my clients and everyone who I train with, that don't think that when you step up in here, this is just an 8 to 16 week transformation. I said, after 16 weeks, I don't want you to come back and you're out of shape and this and that. When you leave from this 16 weeks, this is a lifestyle change. It's not a 16-week diet that you're going on. You're changing up now your whole lifestyle. This is a new start to your journey. This is a fresh start and a better approach now. And alhamdulillah, the feedback that we've had is amazing. People are telling me that this is the best that they've ever felt throughout their whole life. And that makes us feel good, because me and my brother put in an absolute shift in the gym. And we do give a lot of time and attention towards our clients and towards people that need help in general, because that's just the type of people that we are. And it is very, very rewarding. So the only way forward now, inshallah, is up. So we're just going to keep progressing, keep grafting, doing what we're doing, pushing out what we're doing. And inshallah, just more and more to come.
And you know, when you talk about clients, so give me a typical example, of your best and worst client without naming or shaming anybody.
Okay, best client does everything to a T. When I say to a T,
that's me, obviously.
To a T.
Eat all the burgers. Make sure nobody else eats junk food.
Diet, training, supplements, food, everything is on point. This guy will send me a picture. If he eats a peanut, he'll send me a picture of a peanut. Everything. Then I've got the other one, which I love to bits. I love all my clients to bits, and they all know this as well because we have jokes. We've got
So we
bands
won't
as
say
well.
worse. We'll say the one that needs a bit of work.
Yeah. He's my favorite though. He's my favorite, believe it or not. And he won't send me pictures of the food. He'll come in, get a beasting, absolute beasting of a workout,
And smile through it.
and he'll be
Have no remorse.
And it's just, but you know what? He's getting there. He's on it now. He's on it. And alhamdulillah, our target is that we need to get every single person to where they want to be. Like I said, to bring out the best version of themselves. And every individual has their own goals, what they want in life. And, you know, like even just, it's crazy because just from people have said to me that, you know what? That little bit of happiness that I get in the day is knowing that I need to come here to train.
It's a safe space, and where they can just come and just, like you said, de-stress and just let all the stresses just fly away. And that 1 hour a day is like therapy. It's basically therapy.
It is.
And just people just don't call it therapy because they're afraid of that taboo word or something. But it's a therapy. Specialist training therapy.
It is. And it's therapy for me as well, because as much as I give advice and I talk to people, I kind of need advice as well, because, you know, the people, a lot of our clients as well, like they're in very good fields. They're specialists in their fields.
Networking, basically.
And they're a lot older. So I'll ask them for advice as well. What do you think of this? What do you think the best thing is to invest into, etc., etc.? Because like I said, I'm just like a sponge. I just want to absorb and absorb and absorb. And if you can help me, I can help you. And yeah, it's just a growth. The growth is just crazy right now, alhamdulillah. It's just progression for everyone, clients, for ourselves, and anyone who needs help, anyone who wants that time that we can give them.
You mentioned about, you know, obviously you're not open to the public and people need to book. So if somebody who's watching this sort of conversation now and they want to book your time and want to work out at your studio, what do they physically need to do when you go online? Give them a bit of...
So currently right now, the website is being built as we're speaking. It should be done by the weekend. Right now, everyone's getting in touch with me over social media. So over Facebook, over Instagram. So they'll message me. I'll email them over a form, consultation form. So they'll fill out the form, give us information about themselves, and then we take it from there. Then we'll get them in, start finding out more about them, etc. And then from there.
So as far as recommendations go, I don't recommend anybody, but I recommend him. And I'm not taking a commission, promise. I'm just making sure if somebody's going to go somewhere, I can only basically recommend somebody I know how they work and I know your ethic.
Yeah. And you know, even then, coach, like I don't really push out too much to try and get clients in, because alhamdulillah, the work kind of speaks for itself.
It's that quality to quantity ratio.
Yeah. So people will see it themselves. And when you see someone working and training and you think, you know what, I need to get like that. I need to be around that person to get like that. I need to be around him. I need to see what he's doing. I need to see what he's eating, how he's training, how his mind. Yeah.
People want to mirror the coach, the trainer, the mentor. And obviously, if they can see somebody grinding and they want to be like that person, it's best to be spending time with that person. Purely just basic knowledge that if you want to be like someone, spend time with them. And that's how you learn how to be like them. You see what they do, you see how they move, see what they eat, see how they breathe, see the mindset, how they deal with setbacks. It's just an observation exercise. And if they can see how to do it. Okay, so you said you want to grow and open branches. So are we looking at an academy? Are we looking at people can franchise, or are you going to manage it all yourself?
No, when I talk about grow, even opening another studio, there's places that
you can move around basically.
Yeah, so there's places that I need to get into. I don't want to address it yet because it's still early stages, but there are things that I've sat down, I've spoken to with people that can help me and get me to where I want to be. And if I can get my foot into that, then that will be massive and a big game changer, inshallah, as well.
All right, we're going to naturally talk about boxing. So obviously, you talked about being in the championships and stuff. I'm going to ask you a straight up question now. When you're going pro?
Next year, inshallah. Next year.
I think it's a good move because I think you got the talent. I think there's opportunity there for you. You mix it up nicely, and you got a good fan base. So I think that should be one of the moves that you make.
Yeah, definitely.
And naturally it'll feed what you do as well.
Yeah, and I love it. I love the whole, the training, going through it physically, mentally, everything. boxing's a very lonely sport. All the fighters know, coach knows. It's a very lonely sport. You got to get up on your own, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 in the morning, get up and run on your own. You got to diet, you got to train, you got to do, we have people to help us, but it's a lonely sport.
And there's a lot of experts in this sport.
Yeah.
Basically, everybody watches you as an expert.
They
give you so much nonsense feedback, but you've got to absorb it all.
Yeah, literally.
And translate it. And most of it's in different languages.
Yeah.
Like I've heard people in the crowd say stuff like, break him. How do you break somebody?
Kill him.
Kill him.
It's a sport.
Break him. You broke his heart. Well, I don't think he was in a relationship with the guy, so now you broke his heart. But this kind of nonsense that you got to hear. Yeah. And one thing I really, really, really have to put out there is any sportsman, any athlete, they put in a lot of graft.
Yeah.
A lot of sacrifice. And they have a lot of personal issues that you don't see. Because as a spectator, I'm guilty of this as well. As a spectator, you're only happy when your person wins. And sometimes you overlook the sacrifice and you overlook the fact that the other person has come to fight as well. And the other person's got every right to win as well. And what I say, especially with a combat sport, it always takes 2 people to make a fight. So don't belittle any of them fighters.
Nah, you can't ever underestimate.
Unless you've been in that ring, you won't understand what we mean when we say it's a lonely space.
100%.
Your highs, your lows, injuries, when you lose focus, things that can distract you outside the ring, it all plays a part. And sometimes especially in amateur boxing, I'm not going to lie about it, sometimes you get a decision. It happens, but don't take it personally. Just get on.
It's a learning
curve. Keep moving. Just because somebody's made a decision about you, it doesn't have to be the truth. There's a famous motivational speaker said that somebody's opinion of you doesn't have to be a reality.
Nah, of course.
No, you make your reality. So for spectators out there, just a bit of friendly advice. Be supportive no matter what. That's your person. They've gone in there, number 1, to achieve something. Number 2, to entertain you. And no matter how much money you paid for a ticket, it's not enough for what they do. You could pay £1 million, but the sacrifices they've done, they're not going to get that time back. So be wary, be appreciative. And it takes 2 fighters. So even if your guy wins, don't boo the other guy.
Nah.
It takes 2 people to make a fight.
It is. And for anyone to get up and get into that ring is massive hats off and respect. To step through them ropes and to fight in front of loads of people, especially like when you're against an away crowd as well, people are booing and saying all sorts. It's massive respect to get up and get into that ring and fight. It takes a lot of courage, and not everyone can do that. Not everyone goes through that feeling of knowing, getting their hand raised. That feeling is the best feeling in the world. Not everyone will, but those are the people that are quick to talk. He's this, he's that, he does this, he does that. But they don't see the sacrifice and the time and the work that gets put into what we do.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back, and my original coach, Bill, who's passed away now, but he told us that, when you go into a fight, don't talk about winning, because both fighters lose something, which is a mad thing to say. Because if you think about it, you go in there, you get a cut, you bleed, you get injured, you expend energy, you spend emotions, you go through the thick and thin. So you do lose a lot. Even when you win, you lose a lot. And especially professional fighters, when they're wearing like smaller gloves, like 12-ounce gloves, 10-ounce gloves, 8-ounce gloves in the lighter weights, when you get smacked with a couple of them shots and your ribs get cracked and you're urinating blood for 3-4 days afterwards, or you can't see for like 48 hours, you don't know if you are going to be able to see after that 48 hours.
Yeah.
You haven't seen your family 6 weeks. It's a mad sacrifice.
It is.
And the general public is just entertainment, you see, and you
literally
think, but it's much more than that.
A lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more.
And you should respect any athlete, no matter what the sport is, the ultimate sacrifice, and they're doing it not just to entertain you, but to be the best version of themselves. And the least you can do is just say thank you to them.
Support, yeah,
and show a bit of support. And if everybody was supportive, it'd just make every way a better place.
It would.
Let's go on to something different now. So obviously you do nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about your favorite food. And when you should have bought a portion with you and we should have shared it on the table. So now you got a sweet tooth.
Yeah, I've got a mad
and
sweet tooth. And
I've got a sweet tooth.
Yeah, I've got a mad sweet tooth.
Well, I've got about 32 teeth now, so 32 sweet teeth.
I went through 12 cornflake cakes last night.
You did? So how many press-ups would that be for your clients? Because you're going to do them live now. So talk about your favourite food. Let's go.
My favourite food, I'm a steak man. I love my steaks.
What's your favourite steak?
T-bone steak. T-bone steak, mashed vegetables, some chips. That for me, that's my ultimate food, steaks. I can eat curries, but I'm not a big curry fan. Yeah, the last time I had roti and salan was
a while ago.
Yeah, a while ago. I'm not really a big fan, but I do have them here and there. But mainly, steak for me. What about for you, Sal? What's your favorite food?
At the moment, it's lamb chops, but I don't know. I'm like seasonal. Every season, I have a different flavor.
Sometimes prawns, sometimes lamb chops.
It just depends. And also, I like to go to different places. So if I go to a place, I'll ask them what they recommend, the chef's recommendation. The chef knows the food.
Yeah.
Recently you talked to us about some like products or endorsements or things that you promote. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that. Let's.
Yeah. So I try to kind of stick to one supplement brand. I don't like to kind of get too many of them. Yeah. So I kind of keep under one range. So I use the Herbalife range simply for the fact because I've been using the products now for 2 years, and alhamdulillah, I'm in good shape. And even when I'm not training as hard as I need to be, as long as my nutrition's right and my diet's right, I can still hold muscle mass and keep my body fat low. And I found that using these products, I've been able to do so very easily and still be able to get away with eating certain foods. I can still I'm not promoting it and saying that you should, but I'm just saying this because I'm already at the goal that I'm at right now. So I can kind of afford to have a day or have an hour or whatever where I'm just eating bare junk. But then the next day I'll get up and run it off. That's just me. I've got to get it off. But having these products, they're backed by scientists. They're organic. So you see like a lot of the proteins, they're very high in sugars as well. So they leave, as well as they'll put size on, but they'll leave unwanted fat around the body as well, which is not kind of what I want to do, or a lot of what when you're personal training.
It's not the aim of the product.
No, it's not.
The aim of the product is to minimize the fat.
Yeah, 100%.
And sugar should be coming down anyway, because the higher sugars you have, the long-term problems can be.
Exactly that. And they taste absolutely banging, and they're not just normal protein shakes. It's like, so for my breakfast, if I'm getting up and I'm late, for example, if I'm running late, I need to be somewhere, I'll just quickly make a shake. It's just water, 300 milliliters of water, 2 scoops of protein, and then there's 2 scoops of a formula. Now, inside that formula, there's 25 vitamins and minerals, and then there's your carbs, your proteins, your fats. So I'll have that shake for my breakfast and I'm out the door. But when I drink that will fill me up. If I have that around, let's say about 6:30, 7, that will fill me up till about 9, 10 o'clock now. Then I'll eat again, and then so on from there. But then the product-wise, I use the formula for meal replacement, and then I use their after protein as well. So it's called Strength and Rebuild. And that basically just replenishes all the vital vitamins and minerals that you've lost throughout training.
Like a recovery drink.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
So what other companies or organizations support you?
The only one, health-wise is, like I said, because I tried to just keep it to one, is Herbalife. I'm a distributor for them as well, so I'm a supervisor in the company as well. I have people that work with me as well. They go out and they distribute products.
So do we get a discount code or?
As well? So it's like, so what will happen when you sign up to the company, the more sales that you make and the more people that will join your team, the company will offer you stuff like holidays.
Okay.
You'll get bundle packs, you'll get discounts.
Like promotion based.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, that's worked very well. It's worked well for myself.
So if anybody wants to get that, you have to put your code in.
Yeah.
So what's your code?
Yeah. So basically, it's a website. So I have my own website for it. So they'll go onto the website, order whatever products they want. I'll receive an email. They'll receive an email. But what a lot of people will do, they'll just message me directly and tell me what they want, and then I can process that order through for them. They'll just make the transfers for me.
Just get in touch with you, basically.
And then I'll send that over to them with a receipt, and then the delivery tracking and all that. They'll receive an email for that as well, so they can keep on top of it.
Any shout outs?
Apex Therapies, big shout out. If anyone, a lot of people are asking about injuries, tightness, stiffness. Apex Therapies is the man. He's who I go to for all my needs.
Is it a painful process?
It's a very painful process. I love him, but when I see him,
a lot of people, when they hear therapy, they think, I'm going to lie down, hear the birds singing.
I wish. When I see him, I say, you know what? As much as I love you, when your elbow is in my leg, I feel like punching you in the head, but he's my boy, and he's just doing it, saying
it's got to be done.
It has to be done. He knows. And it's a horrible massage. Like I put a towel in my mouth, I was biting on a towel. This guy's elbow in my leg, pushing it out, but we need that because of the intensity that we're training at, and we get stiff over time, and our body it's like a car. You don't put diesel in a petrol car. You need to look after your body. You need to give it the correct service. You need to look after it, because then once he's done, during the process is painful, but the minute that he's done and I'm up a day later, I feel like I got a new set of legs. I feel like I'm a new man. I'll run for however many miles, do whatever. So it's all important. The recovery is just as important as your training, same way how your nutrition is.
And there's another thing that I wanted to touch on, was from a coach's point of view, that I always find one of the things that new members or people who are new to a gym environment is equipment. So when people turn up with the wrong trainers, or they'll just buy the cheapest thing on the market, can you touch on like what we should do when we're looking for a pair of trainers or equipment in the gym, and why it's important to have your own stuff and not borrow stuff?
So it's important to have your own stuff, definitely. I mean, gym equipment now, in this crisis, gym equipment is the worst thing to buy right now, simply for the fact because now everyone has put their prices sky high. I mean, just for an Olympic bar alone, you're looking at about between £150 to £200. So where it was £1 per kilo, people have put it up now to £2.50 or £2, even £5 a kilo. But still, I would say invest into your own gym equipment, because in this crisis, what has happened should have taught us that this can come anytime now again. So you need to be prepared. If you've got your own gym equipment and you know that in the future, if this happens and gyms are on lockdown and you've got your own equipment, you can train yourself because it's at home. You don't need to go to X, Y, and Z or ask someone, can I use this? Can I use that? In terms of equipment as well, like you don't need to buy all the fancy equipment. You don't need to buy all of that. It's your knowledge you can use. I mean, you give me a pair of dumbbells and I'll put you through a whole hour. You give me one pair of dumbbells and I'll put you through a whole body workout for that 1 hour with one pair of dumbbells. But it's about what you do. Like you can have all the gear and no idea.
That's what I think. That's what you are. Your service, your product, your professionalism. You're basically giving people the know-how and the knowledge how to use a kit. It's one thing having the kit, but it's like having a car, but if you got no driving license, you ain't driving it.
And I say to all of them, I say, when you go from here and when I'm training and when I'm coaching you, I say, I want to educate you as well. So when you go, if you go into a gym, you know what to do. You know what you're working on. You know how many reps, how many sets, what it's working on, why you're doing it. You know the recovery. You know what to eat. So I want to educate you as well as get you into the best shape. Because then once you're gone from there, you're now a representation of me. Once you've gone there, if I've got you a body, you've put in the work. But if I've coached you to get that body and you can still maintain that after that, for me, that's a job well done.
So I'm just going to make your life really difficult and say to you, if you're going to wrap it up in one sentence or two sentences, or because you're my favorite person right now, 3 sentences, to give our viewers 3 sentences of final advice and full stop.
Whatever you want to achieve, go out and achieve it. Don't let anybody try and tell you that you can't make or you can't do anything that you want to do, because someone else is going to tell you that because they don't want to see you achieve or they don't want to see you accomplish. And like I said, surround yourself with the right people, have a good team and people that want to see you win. When you have people that want to see you win and people that are applauding you when you're winning, it's only going to elevate you. And if you elevate and you've got a good team around you, they're going to elevate as well. Mindset is everything. Just get yourself into the right mindset, keep the work rate, stay humble, stay grounded, and you'll go places. You'll go places. But that's a wrap.